Kia ora and good morning. Welcome into day number 2, the final day of this huge event in the glorious Nainai of Wellington. Another sparkling day in the Riviera of the South Pacific. Welcome aboard to our coverage of the Angus Hotel Champion of Champions weekend, proudly brought to you by Bowls Wellington. My name is Daniel McCarty, and once again, a very warm welcome to you all. Great to have you along. 3 more matches for your enjoyment today. First up, and in front of you right now on our screen, it is the women's triples final, and it has just started. We'll get to those details of who's competing and performing in our eyes in just a moment. A hugely significant day for New Zealand, of course. Hope you're all enjoying your Anzac morning. It is an absolute delight. A picture here at the quite sumptuous Nainai Bowling Club. We have been very blessed with the weather over these 2 days, and long may that continue, because we again have another full calendar for you. The women's triples final, which we'll get to in just a moment. Later, from approximately 11:45, it will be the men's pairs final. And then from the women's fours final will wrap us up from roughly about 2:30, depending on how the games prior progress. Plenty of action yesterday, and before we get to what is happening in front of us, probably a good time to just recap, to fill you in what you may have missed yesterday as far as the competition. Let's start off on the women's side of the equation. Plenty of action in the singles, both the junior and senior singles. Let's look at the junior. That's players with experience of 1 to 5 years. Our semi-finalists saw Robin Lindsay of Miramar take on Sheree Bryan from Stokes Valley. It was Stokes Valley Sheree Bryan who progressed to the final with a 21-13 win, where she was joined by Sharon Ritchie from Silverstream, who edged out Gil Oliver by 21-17. Sheree Bryan, though, took the honours and crowned junior women's champion for the Champion of Champions in 2021 with a 21-14 victory over Sharon Ritchie. So well done to Sheree. While it was Silverstream's turn to celebrate in the singles of the women's, an epic final encounter between Robin Tuckett and Dale Rayner. Dale Rayner progressed to the final after beating Victoria Sarah Tokamo by 21-11. Robin Tuckett downed Nainai's Anne Gately by 21-20, and that theme rang true. A tight contest for Robin Tuckett, that is, and that same scoreline. And she edged out to Dale Rayner in very dramatic fashion. Last bowl of the contest saw her being crowned the singles champion with a 21-20 victory. So congratulations to Robin Tuckett. Also progressing is the pairs. The women's pairs. We've got our finalists set with the Nainai crew edging to Tahi Bay, so congratulations to Lisa White and Lil Renata. They are through to the final, where they will meet Stokes Valley. It's turned out to be a good 36 odd hours for Stokes Valley. Their crew in the pairs women edging out Miramar by another tight scoreline, 16-13. So Stokes Valley and Nainai going head to head in the pairs. The triples we'll get to in just a second. The women's fours semi-finals are due to start later this morning. On the men's side of things in the junior men competition, Mike Chapman from Stokes Valley had a comfortable win over Jerry Mackay from Hutt, seeing him progress to the final, where he meets Hamish Ryan from Silverstream. He too also fairly comfortable in the semi, beating Miramar's Huey Galbraith by 21-11. Hamish Ryan was crowned the winner in the junior men's competition. A tight final, edging out Chapman by 21-19. So Hamish Ryan, I hope you celebrated your victory last night, because I'm sure Robbie Bird did from Nainai, because he was the winner in the men's competition, using home track advantage, you may say, beating a very, very close friend of mine, because he's right next to me, and Paul Hassel from Tawa, by 21 points to 10. We'll breeze over that one. Aaron Love had a 21-15 victory over Howard Ivory from Wilton. So it was Aaron Love and Robbie Bird who met in the final. I think Bird got out to a 7-0 lead, and Love climbed back to 8-7. But in the second half of that game, Robbie Bird just able to keep his beak in front, and was able to run out eventual 21-14 winner. Congratulations to Nainai's Robbie Bird, and that was a popular victory, as you would expect, here at the Nainai Bowling Club. In the men's pair, we've got Wainuiomata to play Victoria. Victoria beating Johnsonville by 23-16, while Stokes Valley eliminated by Wainuiomata 16-14. The men's triples, that's now in the, or you can read about in the paper, as they would say, with a comfortable, huge win for Johnsonville over Kandala in the final, 27-6. Romping victory for the team from Johnsonville. Johnsonville edged out Victoria in the semi-finals, while Kandala an upper hut in a wild game that we actually had at this time yesterday morning in our coverage, 21-20. So that gives you a rundown of what has happened to date. As I mentioned, right here on rink number 7, we've got the men's pairs final from just before midday, and our last game, mid-afternoon, around about 2:30, we've got the women's fours final. Out in the middle right now, as we come to the conclusion of the first end, it is the women's triples between Victoria and Johnsonville. A matchup of two very good sides, and two sides I'm sure most of the experts probably predicted leading into this weekend. Fair to say there's a fair bit of winning in the history of these two sides. Johnsonville in the blue, of course, and Victoria wearing out the black and yellow. For Victoria, they are skippered by Sarah Takamo, made it through to the semi-finals of the women's singles. Their lead is Robin Rinsel and Helen King, who's only got 30 centre titles to her name, so just 6 gold stars. Of course, gold stars wrapped up when you win 5 centre titles. So Helen King knows how to win these type of contests, although they're up against a side who won the Open Triples in 2020 from Johnsonville. Skipper Karen Guilford, who was alongside us yesterday in commentary. Good to see Karen out there on the left of your screen right now, and her partners Nicola Lowe and Cynthia Evans. So we'll bring you coverage of this game, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome alongside me in commentary man who's president of the Wellington Bowls Umpires Association, but a pretty fine player himself. As I mentioned, he made it through to the semi-final of the men's singles event, proudly representing the Tawa Bowling Club. Everyone from Tawa always proudly represents Tawa. There's no two ways about it. He may have lost in the men's singles semi-finals, but he's hoping to add a centre title to his resume a little bit later, with his Tawa team making it through to the final of the men's fours when they play at Wainuiamata in that final. Paul Hassel, great to have you alongside. Thanks so much. I know you've had a full weekend and you've just dropped in to provide some expert analysis.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Delighted to be here. Both capacities, really, commentating and playing.
What another sparkling morning.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? It's good and bad in two ways, really.
Okay,
excellent
elaborate.
weather, bad because all your list of excuses have gone. Great green, no wind, bright sunshine. But probably the only one you can come up with is the sun got in my eyes.
Well, you got sunglasses and hats for that, so even that's a fairly weak type of
Pretty
excuse.
Much. But you can always see from the first couple of ends, it's not. The conditions are excellent. The bowls are holding a good line. The ladies are playing really well.
And the gulls are in fine voice, as we can detect. There's a bit of a dew around this time yesterday. It lifted very quickly. We're probably not the same emerald colour to the tinge of the grass as 24 hours ago. It shows just it may have just got a little bit slippery, but that dew tends to go rather quickly. It doesn't hang around at all.
Doesn't hang around long at all. Maybe slows things up a little bit to start with, but it's a great day for playing. I think couldn't wish for anything better.
For those tuning in, maybe checking on a family member or a friend here, and might not be aware of triples, so you're seeing 3 per side, hence triples. Yes, it's that obvious, and 2 bowls per bowler. Played over 18 ends, so there's no time limit here. So at the end of 18 ends, who's raked up the most will be crowned champion. And Paul, as I mentioned in the opening, these two sides probably were tipped to progress out of these semi-finals just for their pedigree. I
think so, yeah. They're all experienced players. They've been playing probably for a minimum of around about 10 years. So they've all got a lot of club titles, obviously, for virtue of being here. A lot have got centre and national honours as well. So very experienced, two very experienced teams. I'm looking forward to a really good game. And they're definitely starting well.
So Victoria and Helen King on the mat. Slides one past and to the right. Really sort of misfire when you look at the rest of the the map out there at the moment on the land. It's fairly congested, showing that despite being in end number 2, the radar's right on the money at the moment. Little 5, so Karen Guilford's obviously happy with the efforts.
Yeah, no, I think you'll probably find Cynthia's got the shot out to the right there, just from the way, because I think Helen was trying to run at the head to dislodge it. So it's always hard to tell from the screen just exactly who's got the closest there. But
especially those in front of the jack.
Yeah.
It seems we made fools of ourselves at times yesterday, Paul.
Oh,
We
right.
were very sure that's going to be 4. It was maybe 1,
No,
2.
yeah, I've just learnt through experience that usually the bowls that are level out to the wing bowl is usually a lot closer than you think, just from the width of the bowl and the optical illusion of the shortened back. Sometimes look closer from the other end. That's why some players look a bit surprised when the skip says, no, we're 1 down. They go, what, really?
Bit of pace on this.
Yep.
It's
It's dislodged. Yep. Ooh, looks like 2 to Cynthia. No.
certainly opened up an angle for Karen Guilford to try and draw it in, urging it on, both Karen and her team, but decides to remain in the outside lane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what we, especially in the early days when you're just trying to get a feel for the line, you sometimes find the margin for error is pretty tight. Doesn't take much to put you off.
So our first look at the skipper from Victoria, Sarah Takamo. Arching her neck, asking it. That's
And going
just a
around the
little
back.
bit too much pace on it, and will slide harmlessly out the back. So last bowl for Johnsonville and their skipper. Guilford remain on that side as she tries to draw it in. See if she's made that adjustment. And just goes in behind, but now it appears just
Maybe not.
flops over, so at least one.
That's a second.
It's a second.
No, it did count.
That's
from
a
Karen.
third. Well, this is a big end to open. That's 4 taken out, and they're measuring for a 5th, are they?
I'm definitely checking it.
I do love everyone's own little idiosyncrasies when it comes to try to find the measurements. I think
Yep.
Helen was like crossing her arms over. I don't know if that was...
Yeah, everybody's got a technique. I'm still firmly of the belief that the measuring device still gives you a better indication. It's usually sometimes just as quick.
You just don't trust yourself.
No, well, I don't. Which is not very good for an umpire who marks to say, is it?
Well, you're playing it by the rule book.
Yep.
So, 5 on the board for Johnsonville. How's that for a start? That's not a bad way to get on the board after conceding a 1-0 deficit after the first end. So, 2 ends of 18 played, and Johnsonville 5-1 up.
Oh, excellent start. But if you're in the opposition, the only time you really want to do that is right at the beginning, and then you give yourself a chance to claw yourself back into the game. But still early days, 16 more ends.
Yeah, we saw some wild ends in the triples. In our opening game yesterday between Kandala and Upper Hutt. It's a full house. There's chance of another full house heading into the last bowl, and it swung back to the other side. It picked up the bowl. It was very entertaining. Kandala was out to a huge lead, then saw the finish line and started tripping over their own feet, it seemed. Upper Hutt came roaring back, but Kandala settled themselves and got through to that final.
That's part of the attraction of the game. Keep the concentration going for the whole game is really hard to do. This looks like a pretty good start by Nicola.
It is. Always a little bit of heat on the leads.
Yeah,
Johnsonville's in a good range. Let's see what Nicola Lowe can reply with.
oh, she's
Good
close.
line, but a little bit too mustard. Too much mustard on that. Certainly early in this contest, we are seeing the pill being threatened a lot.
Yeah,
Another example of. How's that? Look at that. A little good morning kiss.
Great bowl.
Brilliant stuff. Fans are slowly drifting in, enjoying the sun. Enjoying some quality early. The coffee's arrived, which always makes us happy. Look at
Very
that
good.
for a response, eh?
Oh, lovely.
Whatever you can do, I can do as well. Robin Rintle responds. From a commentary perspective, not loving the fact that two leads have the same colour.
Yeah, and the sticker's a bit hard to pick up.
Yeah,
as
this is more my style as Cynthia Evans.
That's another good bowl. Look at that.
Look at that. That's three.
3 touches in a row.
3 touches in a row. I know, early morning rust for these two sides, showing their quality in abundance. Maybe a fraction narrow here. Go under head and over the centre line, and so that's good advice from the skip, who's just uttered something similar to the last.
Yeah. I probably would have said the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep the messages simple. The captain likes it again. Let's give a slapping a thigh in appreciation.
No, good spot.
So, Helen King searching for centre title number 31, which would draw her alongside Lee Griffin with 31. Only Judy Howard has one more.
Oh,
How's this?
gee whiz.
You can appreciate this, Paul.
Oh, well. It's going to be an interesting one for Sarah to work with, though. It's a bit hard to get at Cynthia's bowl.
So what are you seeing in your mind's eye here as far as options for both these players as the skips now wander to the other end? And
It's going to be a case of what Sarah thinks she can see from the other end. You can almost see the edge of the jack, but it's not going to be easy to get at. But it's Karen's turn first anyway, so...
a nervy looking step forward. She's realised the line's wrong here. She sort of turns away in frustration, doesn't even watch where it finishes. It's in what I would describe what an irrelevant zone.
Yeah, you never know. Any bowl can come into play. A number of times you've seen bowls take an edge and come flying through the head, and when all the bowls are finished moving, you suddenly realise, oh, actually that wasn't too bad after all.
And that's when you claim. That's exactly.
Yeah, that's
what I was
exactly what you're
trying-
playing for.
Exactly what I was playing for, Skip. And then your skip just rolls their eyes at you.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
Yeah. So Sarah Takamo.
It's not looking too far away.
Yeah, it's pointing. Maybe just a little fraction heavy. No, it's going to.
No, that's a great bowl. Oh,
So unlucky. It was just not able to push out the Johnsonville bowl and fill that space. Rather, you know, you're talking only a few degrees off, and just slides past. This looks much better from the Johnsonville captain.
yeah, that's a good spot. That makes it even harder for Sarah to bend around now.
Nice work from the skipper of Johnsonville. Sort of just park the car in front of the driveway if where Sarah was looking to manoeuvre.
Yep.
Touch onto the green, it'll spit it out. We've got everything back in here.
Yeah, good scoop
I don't
from
think you
Helen.
can't take me out of what's doing it. It's going to hit the green. So you're looking at either our bowl, you have to take it high, or that bowl.
Nothing like it when the players do our job. Great understanding you now have of thinking behind this. Bit of heat on it.
Oh,
So just one down. So again, that was only
yep.
a fraction away from being perfect. So high quality, but Johnsonville have jumped out to handy advantage very early. Only 3 of 18 ends have been played, but consecutive ends have picked up 5 and now 1 on that, the third. So scoreboard reads, as you can see right there, 6-1, Johnsonville in front. A slightly shorter side, sim will be played. Matt, he's going to be far back. Nicola Lowe was right on it. The last end, leading off. This one's going to be behind. You take that rather than front of, and it's going to hover around that centre line.
You're always happy with bowls slightly over. They can be. They all come into play.
Now, Rintle from Victoria. Flops in right again around that centre line and behind, so both teams will be happy with the first up effort. It's low. Looking to make an adjustment. I'm going to pull the length back. It's a good sign from the skip.
Yeah, it's a very good bowl.
Oh, another toucher, is it?
Checking.
It's probably as close as you can get without. It's like one of those annoying close talkers. Someone gets in your face. You're arching back when the talker get you. So just under the head, the jack, and away to the left. But again, a good small patch of land. All 4 of those have come to rest on Cynthia Evans now for Johnsonville.
That's travelling pretty well too. She's going to pull up a metre or so short.
A few cries of excitement from the route next to our feature rink, which saw, I think, all the Johnsonville teams spin around wondering what's going on. You ever find yourself getting distracted by the other games?
Yeah, you tried hard not to, but yeah, you can do.
And another one in the mix.
Good bowl from Helen.
A smile on the dial of Cynthia Evans of Johnsonville. The line has been near immaculate on both sides. Group of bowls all in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Cynthia's last bowl is probably going to be a bit of a challenge for Victoria. It's right, makes it a bit harder to get at the jack to dislodge that bowl of Nicola's.
So pretty good effort to say the least, as the skips now will head on up. So where to from here, Paul? What would you be playing? Let's put you on the spot.
Yeah, thanks for that, Daniel. Well, Karen's got luxury, but yeah, it only the bowl. The kitty only has to go back a a fraction for Helen's bowls to come into play. So you just probably want to try and get yourself something a bit close to Nicholas just to make it a bit harder for Sarah to get at that bowl.
Almost protection.
Well, yeah, almost sort of draw around and sit on Helen's bowl at the back just to put yourself another one in there. Yep. So she's just covered over the side there so that if it does hit and spills out to the side, she's got a bowl there covering it.
So Sarah Tokamo and Helen King from Victoria having a little conference, using all their experience. Sarah too has racked up many a title over the year, 9 centred titles. Won the Open Triples earlier this season, funnily enough, with Helen and Robin. So they've had success this year. Sarah Tokamo also winning the national mixed pairs with Laurie Guy too, so it's been a very good season. Just looking to add more here. This one tracking in nicely. Oh, damage will be caused.
Great bowl.
How's
Great
that?
bowl.
Quite spectacular.
Perfectly played.
The narrowest of corridors to work through there.
Yeah, it was good. Still had the advantage of Helen's bowl out on the right though, so if she'd got a slight edge, she probably would have come in onto the head, so she had 2 chances of getting in there.
So Guildford's looking to do something similar, but coming in from the other side.
The other side,
yeah.
Yep.
Just with a little bit of weight on.
Yeah, she's also got the advantage. She's got a bowl that's sitting just slightly at the back to catch it as well. She's just looking to make contact on that front bowl. It's not going to this time.
No, it's too narrow. So looking for a chain reaction here, is it?
Yep, action replay, I think.
Come and maybe nudge the bowl of Helen King. See if she can repeat the dose. Looks well wide though. It's turning, but asked too much of it. So 1 at least. Cynthia Evans using the finger ruler.
Yep.
Ever trusting group. So 2 on the board for Victoria. Should be the outcome of the 4th end. And they chip away at the deficit. Johnsonville still up. 6-3, 4 ends played of 18. High quality through 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it's excellent to watch. Playing really well.
So what's the length there, Paul? You're the master measurer.
Oh, they're about a third of the way up, fairly short, but on this green's running a really good speed, so you won't have to put too much on the bowl for it to get there.
So Robin Rintle of Victoria on the mat. She needs to heed your advice. Needs to take a fraction off. So screen's running true and quick.
It's the challenge of the shorter end. It's very finite adjustment just to get that bowl exactly where you want it. You always have a tendency to run on further than you think they're going to.
Well, the 2 leads really are going shot for shot in every way, shape or form, aren't they? They're following each other around.
Yeah, well, that's the other option. If you can't get it close to the jack, just make sure you're in front of the opposition. You're still counting that way.
Unfortunately for Robin Rintle, she was not able to make that adjustment. Another one well out of the picture if you're looking solely at the jack. Again, seems to be travelling. Much better weight. Round about jack high, but still plenty of room for the likes of Ellen King, who've talented as she is, to get it close, see if she can adjust to the shorter end.
She's got a much
pointing
wider line.
nicely.
Yep, that'll be the shot bowl.
And the skip feels you can still get around that. That's what Cynthia Evans will try to do. Bites it, lip. She lets it roll. Good line. Just needs to pull the string back a fraction. No one able to arrow in as to date on this, the fifth end. Maybe Evans from Johnsonville can change that.
Yeah, she's still watching it intently.
Just needs to put on the brakes. She's come from one side and the other. Ended up in similar positions, so compared to the previous end when there was good old-fashioned traffic jam right around the jack.
Yeah, that's not uncommon in a game of bowls though. Some teams get a feel for it going one way and it's a complete mystery the other.
Did you notice differences yesterday?
Yes.
Playing
yeah,
from one end to the next?
Yeah. Normally in Wellington that's usually caused by the wind, but no, not yesterday. But yeah, sometimes you end up on a rink where every hand in every direction plays slightly differently, and it's just a case of learning where you should be aiming and what sort of weight to give it.
So Sarah Takomo, the skip of Victoria, sends her first down.
I think that's looking pretty good.
Oh, rub, will pull jack high. I'm loath to predict or suggest who's got shot at the moment, or how many. Guildford. Turns and comes in, and it's right where you would expect from a player of her quality. Now I'll with great assurance suggest, well not suggest, say Johnsonville have at least one.
I think they've got at least one. I think that's probably all they've got, but let's see what Sarah does about it.
Oh, she's talking to herself, talking to the bowl. Well wide. So can Karen Guildford double up?
She's got to be close to.
Let's finish above the jet,
Yeah,
but the
another
pace
great
is
bowl.
just superb. How's that? Two more, is it?
Two more, I think. Yep.
I didn't see a signal from the players, but two more added, so nice work from the trio of Nicola Lowe, Cynthia Evans and Karen Guildford, especially the skip on that final end, or that last end. They're up by 5, 8-3. 5 of 18 ends to go. Daniel McCarty writing your commentary throughout the afternoon, and delighted to have a group of people who know what they're talking about alongside me. Starting off with Paul Hassel from the Tawa Bowling Club. Do you have to support John Civil, just the near nature, or is there the rivalry?
I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of local derbies, Daniel, but they exist in many sports.
I know John Civil and Tawa.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I've played it many times at Johnsonville, always enjoy it.
Yeah.
Very hospitable club, great people. As we are at Tower also, I better point out.
Really vociferous crew, both Tower and Johnsonville, and it's pumping up your own tyres. Yeah, yeah, and I like that. That's a compliment. Don't take that the wrong way.
No, it's one of the things.
Supporting your own?
Yeah. No, it's one of the great things about bowls as a sport. The community that the clubs have and things. It's sport of not just for playing, but for all sort of other things around life as well. So
I know, and a few of the commentators yesterday said, looks can be deceiving, Daniel. It can get a little bit testy out there, but it's been very good-natured, and I think you recognise that from what your own sort of first club champs you played as a rookie.
Oh yeah. Yes, our team of first-year bowlers giving the championship 4 years ago. Yes, we weren't quite sure what championship meant, so we put a team together. 4 of us first-year bowlers went out, played,
stormed in with a John Travolta type strut.
Pretty much cocky off. Thought we were going pretty well. Learnt pretty quickly that one bowl on the head close is never enough. So got a few there, and they disappeared all just as quickly as they got there. So got comprehensively beaten in all games, but learnt so much on that one day, and the guys we played, took us under their wing and sort of explained to us what we were doing wrong and how to build heads up and what we should be looking for and the types of shots to play. So, yeah, really good learning experience.
So you were thinking, that's good, that's nice, that's looking good, and the next second it's gone.
Yeah, you learn that all the time. Yeah. I went up to play the Taranaki Fours for the first time, and we came up against the guys in their late 80s, early 90s, and we thought, oh, well, got this one then. Got to hand it out, 2.5 hours later with our tails between our legs, we realised that actually that's not the way to approach the game. Yeah. So no, they were a great side, and then we went into the Paratutu Bowling Club and realised that most of them had their names up on the honours board.
So that made you feel better?
From about 30 years ago, but now they can still bowl. That's a good bowl from Helen there.
That is so. Now Johnsonville's Cynthia Evans. And it's Snide in front. Well,
I think Helen's still got it.
Come to rest on the centre line, but in front of the jack, and it can be quite some distance. Your eyes can fool you. Coming in with a little bit more pace, but is it going to be under? Well, and will slide through. So Helen King, you believe, has...
Yeah, it's always deceptive, but I think so.
Pole position for Victoria as the skips now make their way to the top. This is what the skips like. Bit of room to manoeuvre and...
Oh yeah. Yeah, draw the shot to claim the prize.
So it is Karen Guildford first up. Staring at the ball menacingly. I think she likes it. She just wants it to get up, keep going.
Just not quite rolling on for her.
Carbo will make the same play as far as which side to attack from. It looks better. Turning, turning. Lovely work. It was Guildford in the previous end who used the wide open spaces to attack the jack and pick up a couple. The opposition skip firing back. Guildford looking to respond. Weight on, slightly narrower line.
Yeah, it's close.
It is. Yes.
Ooh, not quite.
Tugs at the shirt almost of Tacamo's bowl, but couldn't dislodge it far enough out. Tacamo go back to same approach. Can she just get it to apply the brakes?
Yeah,
Well, we'll use her own to do that. So 1, probably 2.
I think probably 2. I think the bowl she hit's probably rolled out.
Possibly 3. There you go, Paul. You'll be delighted, mate. The umpire in
Helen's
Come on,
onto
just
it.
get the measurements out.
It's pretty good at removing doubt. 3.
3. So nice work by the Victoria team, not from Melbourne, Wellington. That would be something if there was a Melbourne team at the Wellington Champion of Champions event.
It would
You
be.
like playing the Aussies, don't you?
I do like playing Aussies, yes. They're great fun. You don't play them very often, but the Taranaki Fours is a very long-running tournament. It's their version of the Open Fours, but they've got a long history. They've been running for over, I think it's 116 years. It's and it's 25 end games. I mean, we're playing 18 here.
25.
25, yeah. 2 games a day. One starts at 9 and finishes about 1:30. The other one kicks off about 2 and then runs for whenever you finish. Long days, but really, really strong fields. And there's usually a group of about a dozen or so Australian teams usually come over. COVID's put the stop to that just temporarily, hopefully. But yeah, I always enjoy playing them. Very, very competitive bunch.
25 ends. That
25
could
ends.
take an age.
Yes.
How long would that take?
4? 4 hours. 4 hours plus, potentially 5. We played in a game that went 5 and a bit hours. Finished at about 7:15.
Could you see? Luckily it was in the middle of summer, wasn't
No,
it?
middle of summer. Middle of summer. In Taranaki. No,
You wouldn't want it this time of year.
no way.
Need flashlights to
Well, even
see
starting
where the bias is.
at 2:30 yesterday, she was getting a bit gloomy in the
It
last
was?
couple of ends. And we didn't even have any kills or anything in our game. So
5 hours, 5+ hours. What are your memories of that?
oh,
Can you remember any of it?
oh yeah, I can remember. There's the lead, Gordy. He was a real character. So we were at one stage where we'd actually got 6 bowls really close around the head. 2 of them were his, and he hadn't been playing that well. So he decided he'd shoot up to the head to take a photo of them. But we hadn't finished, so he wanted to get.
Sorry. So he finally found a bit of rhythm
Yep.
and wanted to take a memento.
Yeah, wanted to take a memento, wanted to take a photo. So he shot up to the head.
Is that against the spirit of the sport?
Well, possibly not. But
Did it annoy you?
No, it didn't annoy me. I thought it was hilarious because it was a skip that it was annoyed because it was his bowl to play, and he had his lead dancing around the head taking photos of the bowls. And it was a very tense moment. The game was in the balance. We only had a couple of ends left to go.
So the only one he angered was his own scalp.
Yep. Yeah.
Might have to swim back to Australia.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Oh, he was a great
Brilliant.
character.
What a great moment. That's fantastic. Hold there, Skip. Just want to take a photo, mate.
Yep.
I've been mud all day.
They sent it home to the grandkids.
That's fantastic.
Not sure he was going to get invited back next year.
No, after that, I'm afraid we've replaced you. Alan King, very narrow. Well, right. Goes to the seconds to play. Johnsonville up by 2. Shapings of a very good contest as we hoped leading up to it. There's 2 successful sides. And Cynthia Evans. How's that? Brilliant. Toucher.
Toucher, yep.
Nice work. Is that some of the bowl celebrities arriving in the chopper?
Oh, yes, yeah. As opposed to the limousine that they normally arrive in.
I'm still trying to play it on those days.
Plenty of noise coming from the Peers final. Rank number 4.
It's a pretty tight contest.
I think only a couple in it. Plenty of noise. They're both enthusiastic teams. Great to see. Play sport and have fun. That's what I say.
That's the idea of sport, isn't it? Take your mind off all the other things going on and give yourself a chance to relax and have a bit of fun with a group of people you like playing games with.
You get nervy on game day. I know you got a final. You probably don't want me to talk too much about it.
Yeah, used to. Not so much now.
Yeah.
Sort of like, I've worked out that it's not so much the opposition, it's the conditions and everything else. There's a lot going on. You just want to do the best you can. Really.
In your own head,
yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's a mental game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the attraction of the sport is, you know, what they're doing here. It's how do I solve it? It's a puzzle. How do I solve it? How do I get, you know, some of my team's bowls closer to the jack than the others? The attraction of the game is everybody's got a slightly different playing style. You know, some will be aggressive. They'll go for the high risk, high reward. You know, stick it in the ditch because we've got all the bowls at the back. But if I miss it, you know, we drop a big bundle. Am I prepared to take that gamble, or would I play a little more conservative and just try and draw it in?
Like the true entertainer.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a sort of, you know, the what is it? The golfing expression: drive for show, putt for dough, sort of thing. Sometimes, you know, you can go for the big shots, but you might want to keep a bowl in reserve just so you can sort of, you know, reduce the damage, give yourself a chance to turn around and come back and go better the next end.
And the craftier players will see things others cannot.
That's right, yeah, the more experience you've got. So that's like what Helen was doing the other end when she was explaining, you know, run through the head, bit of weight, move these bowls around, and then you have the confidence in your skip to do it.
Oh.
And that's where you get your memorable moments from, when they come off.
Mind your line, Sarah.
Yeah, you go from 4 down to 4 up. Those are the things you remember about the sport, especially when you played for them, rather than being accidentally done by hitting some bowl off on the side and shooting through the rink and getting a magic result.
You'd still take them.
Oh, you still take them. You still take them. Well, you give enough of them away as well as getting them.
Every point counts at the end of the day.
Well, I sold out for 3 yesterday by dragging the kitty around the corner, and my bowl didn't go with it. So
those are the ones you remember more, though, don't you?
you do remember those more.
Yeah.
Yes, you're quite right. You do.
Rather than the breaks you get, it's the
Yeah.
ones that, my lord, that could have been perfect, but
Yep.
no.
No, it's a game of millimetres. I mean, I was only, you know, a couple of centimetres off dragging the thing cleanly, but no, didn't quite work out.
Maybe Lady Luck's going to be on your side later this afternoon. How's this?
Oh, that's a
Round
great bowl.
the
Look at
back. Fantastic. That is inch perfect. What a, 3 bowls just dotted next to each other.
Sort of all right.
Oh, not far away to the right, so
What do you see from down there?
pace required to be able to get it to come back on that angle and through.
Come have a look.
Yeah, that's part of the. I think that's the experience of these players showing through. They know their bowls. They know what they can do. And in some respects, you don't worry about what the bowls are. So you visualise your track as if they weren't there, and you just got to practice just drawing to it. You know, those other 3 bowls are slightly lower the jack, so there is kind of room. But looking at the screen, you wouldn't have thought, how does that bowl get around that?
So Karen's come through as we're looking at it on the right hand side. For those again who are not in tune, they might naturally think, well, why would you mess with all those over there when you can?
Yeah, and it's open on the other hand. Yeah. But we don't know. I mean, we're not playing it, but it may be that, you know, that's a hand she's got complete confidence in. She knows what the line is.
But it might be not that she just prefers playing from that side, but she's trusting how that side of the green could be running, for example.
Well, the other option is if she's slightly narrow, she'll just push Cynthia's bowl in a bit closer. Yeah. You look at the percentages and sort of work out what are my best options. Might push this bowl in. I might draw it, clean, and then you sort of think, well, I try not to, but you can also think of what's the worst thing could happen. But I tend to find that's not a good practice. You're better off thinking positively and think about,
So the Victorian skip will use that open space to her right to draw this one in.
Yeah,
Got a chance.
She's very close.
Going to nudge.
Unlucky. Very unlucky. Very good.
Very unlucky indeed.
Yeah, I know how good you can be.
Chalk goes on bowler Sarah Takamo after the touch, but didn't quite get the break she was after.
Yeah, not too happy with that one.
Too much pace for it to bend back through that gap. Too wide. Well wide. Pulled up. It's quicker than I certainly expected. What have we got here? Another sound group. I think 4 was the call.
Yeah, it was 4. So that's why she was playing that hand. They're all her bowls.
Why mess with it?
Why mess with them? Just push them closer.
Takamo was, what, mere fractions away from turning 4-bowl deficit into something positive for her side. Now Victoria trail by 6 with another strong scoring end for Johnsonville. They picked up 5 on the second, now adding 4th on the 7th, has them up by 12-6.
Yeah, what I tend to do when I get in that position, which sadly is a lot more frequently than I'd like, but you just break it down and you work out how many ends you've got to go. And you just think, no, that's right. We just got to win the next 3 ends. Pick a couple of 2s and we're back in it. Close the gap up. Definitely don't want to dwell on it.
Okay, so there's a 6-point deficit now.
Yep.
How many ends before 6 is an alarming number?
I'd be looking at winning the next 3 to get myself back into it. 3 1s, I'm only 3 behind, a couple of 2s in there, I'm about level. If I get a big number, I'm, back on top again.
But once you hit sort of the halfway mark, sort of 10 beyond, you're starting to... Oof.
Yeah, you're starting to struggle. You're always doing the maths. If you're starting to get to 2 and end against quality opposition, you're going to start struggling. 2 and end, that's a good point, okay. Well, you've only got 6 bowls each, so, you don't normally get big numbers. That's why it's, with a 4 and a 5, that's quite telling in a,
So for those checking out the box score, if you will, I'm not sure if there's an appropriate term, people will be putting a big ring around end 2 and 7 right now, because that's where 9 of the Johnsonville 12 has come from.
When I started playing, there's a guy that I started playing with, they both sort of worked out that we had there's 2 rules of thumb. One is never let the opposition get a sequence of runs on, so you don't want to get more than, say, 3 ends in a row, and you don't want to drop more than 2 big numbers a game. If you drop a couple of big numbers, you're always going to struggle.
So Victoria, on that front, are on that tightrope now.
Yep. So they'll be looking to get themselves a string of ends in a row, just chipping away at that lead. There's still plenty of time. There's still got another 11 ends. There's always the chance the opposition can have a bad one as well.
Evans with they're called Lime Fizz. Colour of her, well, right on the centre line. Not sure, but 1 out of 2 as far as line and length. He's got bang on. Now Helen King. Smiling at the ball, sending positive thoughts. Maybe more of a nervous smile as she realises a little bit strong, but and it finishes around that centre line. Yeah, the crossed arms is always a good tell, isn't it?
It is.
when they get folded as firmly and sharply as They did that from Cynthia Evans. You probably know when you look up the bowl's nowhere near where you wanted it.
You kind of know that as soon as it leaves your hand, but you're still looking down the green,
Yeah.
optimistic in the hope that something will save it.
Yeah, or a miraculous Wellington gust of wind
Yeah, I wouldn't call them miraculous, but you do get them.
on a still morning.
Yeah,
You do.
yeah. Maybe not.
It's one of the neat features of someone who likes observing the game is those little idiosyncrasies players have. There's, I've forgotten the gentleman's name. The lead from Wainui Amata Falls yesterday was Wayne was apologising to his teammates.
Was he?
At
Yeah.
least half a dozen times it seemed, and the response he got from his teammates was like, "Why are you apologising?"
Yeah. No, I got told that actually early by one of my early skits when I was playing. He said, "No, don't apologise. We know you don't mean to bowl a bad
Yeah.
bowl, so don't worry about it." That's the thing about the game. I think you just got to, you'll throw up good ones, you'll throw up bad ones, but don't dwell on the bad ones. It'll just get in your head because you can't change them.
Your towel thrower or anything?
Me? No. Well, not often.
Paul Hassel alongside me made the semi-finals of the men's singles and will be competing in the fours?
Yeah, in the fours.
Fives.
Yeah, in the
At
final.
1 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
Come on, Guildford have been playing high-quality bowls, often dropping it in, almost like on a dartboard. Guildford weight on.
Is it going to bend inside? I think it is. Yeah, great bowl.
Will slide on in. She so often has done. Found a way through and in.
I like us for 2 seconds for that bowl.
Yeah, I was going to say that's code for having a look at a bit more weight. Just lodge that bowl out. Just enough to push it out and yours to stay, and that'll turn it into 3.
Play with a bit more weight, but narrower. Looking too wide though. And as you've just talked about, Paul, straight out of the hand, she's known.
Yeah. It was worth it though. Probably would have been a bit hard to draw it for the 1, but if you play a bit more weight, could have got off the inside of those 2 wing bowls, could have come in to hit the shot bowl as well. So
It's at least 1. Cynthia Evans will get the tape out and just be sure. Right, umpire.
I was going to say that was a bit closer than they thought.
Ellen King had her back turned to us, so I didn't pick up on the effects. What number? She muttered. Did you?
No, I missed it as well, but they've already put the score up, so they've gone at 14, so
There you
it's
go.
been 2.
So 2. Glad you're observant and paying attention.
It's taking me a while back to try and do maths, but yeah, I think pretty sure 12 plus 2 equals 14.
Yeah. Tower educated, I can see too.
No, I'm not actually. Well, I did have parents as school teachers, so yeah, there's no hope for me really. One English teacher, one science
Yep.
teacher.
Well, I guess you're very, very good at adding anything between 1 plus 8. 1 through 8.
1 through 8.
1 through 8.
Yeah.
We'll get Port State for one more end, and then he can focus on a final. Who have you got this afternoon?
That's Wainui Mata, interestingly enough. Yeah, Ray Lovey's team.
Oh, Ray Lovey's team.
Yeah.
Team I was just talking about.
Yes, that's the one. I'm looking forward to that. I've played Ray before. Yeah.
They were very
It was a good
steady.
game. Yeah.
They really were. One of those games where it took about 2 or 3 ends for both the teams to warm up, but then
No, we're all like that. I mean, you have trial ends to start with, and you think you've got it mastered, but no, you don't. You're really just getting started.
yeah.
In fact, sometimes you have 18 trial ends.
Well, you've done all right trialling all the way through to the final.
Yeah, no, very happy with that. That's
So-
a completely novel territory for me. That's a first.
Right, back to this game. Victoria just
Uh,
need to string a few ends
They do.
consecutively together.
Nicola's leading really well. She's always there or thereabouts. And so is Robin, for that matter. It's just one of these games where there's just one side's just slightly more consistent than the other, and it's paying dividends.
That's Robin Rintle from Victoria on screen.
So here she comes.
Well, no commentator's curse from you, Paul.
No, not at all. No, there's no such thing as that, is there?
Yeah, there's way too many commentators, I think. They're important and actually have an impact on things.
No, but that head's building up nicely, though.
That is.
This looks pretty good from Cynthia.
You might just rub off. Get
Yep,
close.
there we
How's that?
Probably went
Tuck the
too far.
jack, though, towards the Rintoul bowler of Victoria, but chalk gets put on after being a toucher. So that would be live if it gets dislodged out the back. Now Helen King. Leaving that hanging to the right. Evans, like the leaning tower of Pisa there, just wish the ball into the area, but collects the front bowl. Comes to a rest. Still looks like the Robin Rintoul might be holding shot. Bowl standing proudly on its tiptoes. Slides on through.
Karen's checking just to see what her options are.
Take some mental notes. The walking conference is over.
Yep. There's
Conjured the plan.
set your mind, focus on what you want to play. Yep. Ooh. I think it's still enough to claim it.
Got the lucky bag.
Falling Johnsonville's way.
I think so. I think Karen is very deceptive from the screen, but
I thought it was an option, like with my weight, but not what I've asked
The Victoria looking to stop this a little bleeding over the last couple of ends, conceding 4 and 2 consecutively. That's seen the lead go from 8-6 in favour of Johnsonville, so a deficit of just 2 to 8. To change that quick smart. Can the skipper lead the way? Her first bowl of this, the 9th of 18 ends. Tracking neatly.
That's a great bowl. Oh.
Just leaning on the shoulder, like I am with Paul right now.
Yeah, no, Cynthia's indicated that it's their bowl, Karen's bowl.
As far as advice, then Evans just wanted to tell her her
that's
shot.
yeah.
Don't ask me what you do here.
No.
It's one of those ones you're playing, seeking a lead. You want to be hard of hearing when the skipper's asking for advice. Well, we have a terrible attention span. Look up.
Yeah, no. Sometimes it's better to get them to come up and have a look. But yeah, I think Karen's got a couple of good options there. I think she can just try and draw onto her bowl, and it'll push that bowl of Helen's out. Maybe stay for a second.
Good to hear all the laughter around, despite finals being played. So Guildford will pace on.
No,
What about the line, though?
I think she's playing
Safely?
playing safely. Yeah, put it around the back in case Sarah tries to go hard at it and it springs backwards.
If Johnson can hold one shot, that would be a 9-win lead with 9 to play. So 1 and N gets in the opposition.
Yeah.
They're thinking.
Yeah, well, we're only playing in to get us halfway through, so there's still got plenty of time in the ends.
It's out of the hand of the Victoria skip.
Yep, she's interested. I think she's close.
Absolutely. In the wash, how will it look?
Oh, just not getting the rub of the green today. Great shot, just didn't quite get the result.
They fall flat, unfortunately. As far as she was hoping would progress. So had another one. So it is a 9-point lead through 9. So we're at the halfway stage of this final. Paul Hassel from the Tower Bowling Club. He's got to go prepare for a final. Thanks so much for dropping by. It's been an absolute treat having you on board. Hopefully your final doesn't take 5.5 hours like your trip to Taranaki.
No, I think Jerry would have words with me as the tournament.
You've got to drop in some name dropping here. You beat Pete Bellis up in Taranaki, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Yes.
How often do you tell that story?
Not
Like
very
every
often.
6 to 7 minutes?
No, not very often
No.
actually.
Good on you.
It was more a surprise than anything, but yeah, we had a very good day that day.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Still didn't qualify, but we had a very good day.
Oh, who
And
cares after that?
He got to the last 8 and we didn't. Nowhere near it, but it was a good day.
Good luck for the final against Wainuiomata. Paul Hassel, thanks so much for joining us here in the commentary position. We're at the halfway stage of this triples final, and Johnsonville in the last 15-20 minutes really have wrestled control. Now out by 15-6 through 6 ends. At the end of 6, it was just 8-6 after Victoria had scored 3 on that 6th end and were probably feeling good about themselves. But now 3 consecutive ends where Johnsonville have picked up points. 4 on the 7th, 2 on the 8th, and now 1 on the 9th. As that scoreboard reading 15-6. So Paul's been ushered away. I'm going to take on and go prepare for his final. We're utterly delighted. I am. Another expert joining alongside me wearing, well, it's a very distinguishable outfit. If you wander into the 9A Bowling Club, you'll know the Stokes Valley crew very, very easily. Bright black and emboldened red and yellow, and Nicole Toomey joins us in commentary. thanks so much for stopping by.
No, thanks for having me.
Wow, 15-6. Is
Yeah.
it the belly starting to go a little bit for Victoria? They've still got plenty of runway here to make this up.
Well, when I arrived, it was pretty neck and neck, so Johnsonville's just pulled ahead, but there's still plenty of time to go, so it's still anyone's game, yeah.
Well, you're not going to rattle the likes of Sarah, Helen and Robin.
Nah,
They've won a
all-
bit over the years,
Yeah, all
haven't they?
very experienced bowlers,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Johnsonville just no need to take risks, just chip away, maybe add one or two there.
Yeah, play the board and, yeah, aim for second shot, really, and keep on top of them. That's all they need to do, really.
So when do you get nervous when you're down by 9?
Oh, I try not to think about it. Just play your bowls and do what you can, really.
And see what comes out in the wash.
Yep.
Here is Helen King.
Very good bowl.
Yeah, drawing it in nicely. It flops over, just progressing a little bit closer to the jack. Now, Cynthia Evans. As I've mentioned before, the quick arm fold is a bit of a tell, although she gets a nice sort of
Slide.
nice little deviation off her own. Just the way she thought of it,
Yeah.
planned it. Nicole Stokes-Valley, you've had a good day already.
Yeah. Yeah, well, waiting to play the semi-final of the fours after this, so that's exciting. Yeah.
But as far as the club's concerned, you've had a lot of teams involved.
Yep,
and
we had both of our junior singles win yesterday, which is awesome for them. Still got our pairs going today, so it's very exciting.
it seems quite a large group of talented juniors coming up,
Yeah,
progressing.
definitely. Yeah. They're picking up form very fast, which is exciting. It makes bowls interesting.
So what's the reason for that? Is it something Stokes Valley's doing? Is it just
Like
luck of the hat that people in that area are interested, have got involved and picked it up quite quickly?
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess people who are joining have probably been around the bowling club scene for a bit and just started playing recently. So I guess they already have the knowledge and experience when they start playing.
A natural talent, of course, right? Like
Yeah, of
yourself.
course.
Yeah. Yeah. Unashamedly, I think I've got some notes here. 2 centre titles, the 2018 Champion of Champion Pairs, the 2013 Mixed Pairs, won the national singles earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to add in there? You're
Oh,
way too humble,
the
you
Vipers
bowlers,
win.
I have to say. Sorry?
The Vipers win. That was December, the televised competition. So
Yep.
that was another good win for Stokes Valley.
What was that like being on
Oh,
the box? Bit weird?
it's different experience playing in front of cameras and everything, but it was all very exciting, and because I'd played in it this season before, you kind of get used to it. So yeah, it's nerve-wracking being in the final, but
Yeah.
it's totally worth it.
Yeah, good addition to the sport, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It really is.
Yeah. I had lots of like, I'm an early childhood teacher, so
Yep.
I had lots of people from my work just be like, "Hey, you were away yesterday, and I think I saw you on TV. Was that you,
Hey,
or
miss,
is
hey,
that
miss."
like your twin?" Or so that was pretty exciting because I was new to the job. So people
Yeah.
quickly learnt a lot about me and my interests and what I get up to. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
I always wind up the boys before those events, like, how many went to the barber, got a trim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we had a few hours free, so I went and got my nails
Yeah,
done.
good.
Like,
Yeah, I'd expect that. How's this?
oh,
Lovely
very
work.
good bowl.
Brilliant stuff. Aaron Guilford, 2 skips. Very good to watch throughout this. So what's the plan here for Sarah Takamo?
I think just drawing another,
Pretty simple.
trying to get the shot here.
Alan King appears to be interested.
It's not looking bad.
Oh, the murmur
Oh,
from the
very good
fans
bowl.
around the arena.
Oh,
I would have told you, it's just promoted. Just a fraction away from hers. I've counted 4 or
Unlucky.
5 of those going against Victoria in this game. Sometimes Just luck is not with you.
No. Dropping a 1's better than dropping a 2 though, so
Yeah.
at least you cut it down and keeping it close.
So Johnson will continue this great little run through the middle portion of this match. So and that's the 4th straight end they've picked up a point. And that's, by my count, 8 unanswered. 16-6, it will read. What's your background? How did you get into the sport? How long have you been playing?
I've been playing about 12, 13 years. I was one of the ones that grew up around the bowling green.
Yeah.
With, my whole family played, so it was only a matter of time really until I joined in, and it kind of got to the point where I was at the age where I was too young to stay home alone, so I had to go to bowls to watch mum and dad play. So I was like, okay, I might as well play instead of sitting here watching. So yeah, picked that up and yeah.
Immediately,
Going.
what? You realised you were quite good, or?
Oh, not really, but there was hopes. Like, you know, you see the likes of, I know, all of the New Zealand team, and you watch them, and you're hoping to get to that point one day, really. So, yeah, there were a lot of like age competitions which were good to get into, like Kitty Hawks in secondary schools. And
So what age are we talking about here? That, you know, when you first started sort of
when
competing
I
in
first
those?
started, I was about 14.
Yeah.
14, 15, yeah. And then the Kitty Hawks were under 21, and then secondary school, so under 18 really. Played in all of those competitions and started to get a couple of results, and then eventually made the under 18 New Zealand team and development team and stuff like that. So
That's when you take it seriously, or you,
Well,
in your own
yeah.
mind, sort of recognise, actually, I am quite good at this.
Yeah.
So I might dedicate myself more.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's like, it's not until you get picked for those kind of events that you're like, okay, I'm actually,
Heck,
you
I'm a
know,
New
I'm
Zealand
actually
rep.
worth- yeah, yeah.
So the leads are away. Now, Cynthia Evans from Johnsonville. The big lead now through 10 ends. That lead is 10. Rawdon, the skipper, likes it. Understandably so. The chalk goes on that lime fizz. What colour of bowls are you rocking at the moment?
I have plum coloured bowls.
Plum?
Plum, yeah. Yeah,
A deep red.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been called lots of different. You get the
Yes.
reds, you get the pinks, you get lipstick, as Helen would call it.
Lipstick
yeah,
coloured,
lipstick
right.
coloured.
What,
yeah.
bright red?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, not... Yeah, like a in between a red and a pink.
So we could almost say that, you know, the good old-fashioned black bowls are retro now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you rock those, you are deliberately going
Yeah,
retro.
you're like,
I like
whoa, where did they come
it.
from?
I like that. And the Evans. Lose sight of jackets behind. What colour do you call that one? I'd call it maroon because I'm old.
Yeah, probably a ready
Yeah.
maroon.
So deceiving to stand the distance between those. So have to wait. Go to me from Stokes Valley Club with me in commentary. And show me all your experience and understanding. What are the two skips going to do here? Starting off with Johnsonville's Karen Guilford. Big lead.
Oh, it's hard to tell with the jack not being too bit visible from behind, but I think she just got a draw in there really. Playing a backhand.
Not all that accessible, is it?
No. There's a couple of short bowls in the way.
The backhand she does go. Oh, a little inquisitive bounce forward, but wants it to be further left. So very narrow and speed on through. Come to rest out the back. Good to see plenty of laughs from the Victoria squad despite being down by 10.
Yeah. It's what you need though. You can't really let a lead get to you. You just got to keep doing your thing and having fun while you're playing. Even if it is the final.
Takoma's been in a few finals.
She sure has. She's had an awesome season.
And it comes.
She's looking to sit the green.
Take that.
Probably enough to count.
I reckon, yeah. You get that, any which way you get it, you might get both. If the kitty goes back, we've got all the back.
Playing with a little bit more weight on is what I'm detecting there.
Yeah. Try to get rid of the bowls or jack movement.
So looking to create a bit of carnage. Or do you sort of hold your breath when it makes contact? You never can quite predict how it all spits out.
Yeah.
That's where the control of the pace is so important. It's away.
She's in the area.
She was.
Oh.
She takes one of her own team's bowls out. That was the Cynthia Evans bowl. So 2 to Victoria, I think. It will be irrelevant grand scheme of things. Couple picked up. Having a look at the all 4, are they?
Just 2.
Just 2. So, and 2 more to the Victoria total. They'll be delighted. You know, they've lost 8 points in the previous 4. You just want to stop the rot there, and it's down to 8, but still 7 ends remain in this final. Best total after 18 completed ends. I don't know, Kyle, you've had success across all varieties. I read out resume, you know, pairs, mixed pairs, singles. Do you have a preference which one you like playing?
I like singles and pairs. Interestingly enough, I'm in the 4s today, which probably is my least preferred, just because it takes longer and you only get 2 bowls, so you spend a bit of time sitting around watching and waiting.
So you're a doer, not a waiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, singles and pairs I quite enjoy. Singles does get a bit lonely at times when you're playing it like a lot in the season. But no, it's good to have that buddy in the pairs too.
Well, that's your fault for me, so good at it, I guess.
I try.
Well, here you can bounce ideas off people, can't you? And
Yeah.
You're out there, you know, exposed. You've got one who's got to be creative and come up with.
Yeah, definitely. And skipping the 4s this afternoon will be, it'll be good having people to talk to. And
Yeah.
yeah, played a lot of singles this season, so it is good to have that mix and playing different things throughout.
I'm guessing the fours, if you're playing last, it can be information overload with all the options sometimes.
Well, sometimes
yeah.
there's not a lot of options.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a couple of short bowls, and kind of get a bit stuck sometimes.
Yeah.
But you just gotta vision what you're gonna play in.
And that added pressure of only having two.
Yeah.
The first one goes wrong.
Yeah.
You're rolling your eyes. You're cussing yourself.
Yeah. So if your first three have had a rough end, then you're like, oh no,
Yeah.
2 bowls to fix.
And I'd say even in triples too, right? Very rarely all three are going to be in fine form.
Yeah.
People just have rough days.
Yeah, but if 2 of them are on and one of them's off, it shouldn't really matter. People often compliment each other though, like if sometimes if your lead has a bad end, it puts pressure on the 2 and they can manage to sneak one in there. And I guess if the lead is on, sometimes the 2 relaxes a bit.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's just it's part of the mind game too, just sticking with it and keep going.
So tell me about your national singles campaign.
It was pretty amazing, really.
Yeah. Where was it for those who are unaware?
It was up in Auckland.
Yep.
Yep. So final was at Carlton.
You rocked up to Auckland feeling good about yourself and the game at the time, how your game was going?
Yeah, like it was an interesting nationals because we had a lot of rain on the qualifying days. So normally it's 3 out of 4 wins to qualify through the post section. And because some clubs had played 3 games, some had only got through 1 or 2 games, they made it everyone qualified. So automatically it was open for anyone to win. So
and how had you gone through that qualifying?
I think I had won 2.
Yeah.
We'd only played 2, so
you'd won 2 of 2.
I won my 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were feeling good.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how I was going.
You were probably a little bit. Why is everyone being allowed to get through? Come on.
Yeah, well, it was more like there were some clubs who had got through 2 or 3 rounds, and some people couldn't qualify, and they were still getting through. But you just have to ignore that and focus on your own game, really. Then we got through to post section and played a couple of. And
post section played to ultimately be the champ. How many games are you playing?
I think I played 6 or 7
it's
to
quite
get
a lot,
to
isn't
the final. Yeah. And that's knockout rounds. So
It's single elimination. I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
So 6, 7 elimination games just to get to the final.
I think so, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
were there any great escapes throughout, or were you playing fairly consistently?
I was playing fairly consistently. I had I did have some close games. I played Val Smith, which was
always going to be tough.
It was close. I got there in the end, but it actually came down to time limit, I believe. I can't remember the score, but I got to 20 anyway, and the bell rang. So
that's the other thing I don't get.
It's like
you've just won like a national title, right? You don't even remember scores along the way.
No. You just remember the win.
Yeah.
And the moment, it was it was pretty special.
But that was one you were like, I'm going to have to play really well here.
And I think
this player's got all that experience, international experience, is probably not going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then getting to the final and playing Mandy, I think I dropped a 4 on my first end or something like that, and I was like, oh, here we go. It's not the best start. And then I think dropped another 4 later on in the game. I was like, oh God, here we are. But no, I managed to keep a calm mindset and just keep playing my bowls. I was pretty excited that I'd actually made the final.
Well, I was about to ask. You make your first final. That's a huge achievement in of itself. So morning of the final day, what are you like? Are you jumping out of bed with great excitement, or are you like biting the nails?
Yeah, it was. I kept to my same routine.
Okay, what's your routine?
and just wake up, have a shower, have breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, had the same breakfast every day, so was ready to go.
Full English? Full English breakfast?
No,
you know?
just cereal
Down to
and
the
toast, nothing exciting.
At the hotel? Yeah.
Nah, so just, listen to a bit of music and try not to let the nerves get to you, because it is, going into that final state is like, whoa, there's a lot of people here, but I think playing for the Vipers and having that, perspective on playing on TV as well has helped a little bit, to keep that cool mindset and just to block out the people around you and focus on the bowls.
Because by nature there's a lot of sports where you need to get invigorated. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Others, you just want to be centred,
Yeah.
as calm as
Yeah.
possible. But when you drop 4,
Yeah. Internally, I was like, here we
well,
go.
I've had a good run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to the final.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So you were playing.
Look at the positives.
Who were you playing?
I was playing Mandy.
Right.
Yeah.
And you think, well, she's not going to turn down this opportunity now.
No. Very good bowler. So, yeah, I was stoked.
Yeah.
It was
So
a
you-
very special moment.
So you probably felt good just to get on the board after dropping 4.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how did the match progress? It's what, you just
It was a
chipped-
very neck and neck
yeah.
game.
So you just chip your way back to within.
Yeah, it was
level
very,
pegging.
Yeah, very up and down. Like it was anyone's game the whole way through, really. So, yeah, I played the bowl in the last end that I needed to, and there wasn't a lot that she could do to cut it down to stop me from winning the game. So,
What was that one defining shot? Is there such a thing?
I drew the jack back for 3, and there was just a few. There are a few bowls, I guess, in front of my 3 shots that made it difficult. You couldn't really see the jack for a drive, and it did.
So you know it's a
very
high
hard, so
difficulty shot for her to respond.
Yeah.
So what's that feeling like? You've got the jack, dropped it back for 3.
I think I was in shock, to be honest. I followed my bowl down and I was like, oh my god, I'm close. And then I was like, okay, I got it. And then, the crowd was loud.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what to do now.
Would have been
I'm
one of those-
standing there, shaking,
Was it one of those building sort of sounds? Ooh, people could see it, pointing
yeah, I
nicely.
think they could, yeah.
Must be
Yeah,
a pretty
so-
cool feeling.
I don't know, I still get, I guess, a bit shaky, thinking about it. It's still, it's been a goal for a long time to obviously win a national title when you're up there and in the New Zealand development team and stuff. That's what you need to do to get recognised, and to finally say I've done it, and
And when it's shake hands time, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So who was there watching? I'm sure Stokes Valley was well represented.
Stokes Valley,
it's
I
a
was
very, very
actually-
proud club.
I was actually playing under Victoria for that
Yeah.
competition because I've got dual membership
course.
with both. So there's a lot from my club there, and it was pretty special because I think it's the 8th year in a row that we've won the national title.
Wow, that is
so
impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I was lucky that my brother, my sister-in-law, and my 2 nieces drove up to watch the final, so that was pretty special having them there too. Mum and my partner were all watching on TV, so yeah, a lot behind the TV too.
So Johnsonville find themselves now up by 18-8 after that previous year. Another couple. So that's one of those body blows. Victoria think, right, we've just got a couple, we've stopped the bleeding, and then you just give the 2
Yeah.
straight back.
Yeah.
And guess what? You've only got the final third of this match and to overcome the 10. So, I'm sure you're hoping it's not the only national title you win in cricket. What age are you?
I'm 26.
Yeah, so
Yep.
you've got a long, long way to go.
Yep. Still keeping at it, and hopefully add another one next season.
So,
Try to do the back-to-back.
so the next, walk me through the next 12 months after you win a national singles title. I guess you have to reset goals.
Yeah, like I was a bit unfortunate because of COVID. So normally when you win the singles, you go through to the World Champs. Due to COVID this year, it's not happening.
World
Didn't
Champs
happen.
doesn't come into many
No.
people thinking right
No.
now with regard to
No.
sports.
No, so that was a bit of bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, it's just try to do the same thing next year. Keep getting good
Yeah.
results, and
until the world opens up again,
yes,
it's
yeah,
I guess it's those big international marquee
yeah,
events now. Now
Yeah.
you've
yeah. Well, there's not even really any Trans-Tasman competitions going on, but I guess hopefully with this Australian New Zealand travel bubble, they might look at doing a Trans-Tasman, I don't know, maybe towards the end of the year, maybe start of next year, I'm not sure, but yeah, until we know what's going on with this
So
COVID stuff, it's just playing the bowls in your country really, and doing the best you can.
strange looking allotment here with the Jack having been promoted out to the right. So different angles and nuances to play. Quizzical look from Cynthia Evans of Johnsonville. She leaves to the right. So in the winter months,
I'm going to have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chasing, young kids around in early childcare.
Yeah, something
Probably
like
gassed
that.
at the end of every day anyway, aren't you?
Well, yeah, it definitely takes it out of you. At the moment, I'm working with a 2 to 3 year old, so it definitely keeps you busy, keeps you on your toes.
Alright.
Yeah,
I've got a 2-year-old at home at the moment. He runs the house.
yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward just to having a couple months off and just taking time for myself, just
Yeah.
chilling and then preparing for the next season.
Bowls and bowls alone? Play other sports or?
Nah, I don't play any
Yeah.
other sports, nah.
Now you've got to that level.
Don't really have time for it, like,
No, I was about to ask.
yeah.
Because you've got to hone your skills that much. Young career.
Yeah. And it's a very hard mix between, your work-life bowls balance as well, like working 9 till 6 during the week and then having to play bowls on the weekend. It doesn't give you a lot of time
No.
for other stuff. So, yeah, when it does come to the off-season, you kind of, I don't know, there are stuff that you can play in, but, yeah, I choose to have a bit of a break.
Away from bowls?
Yeah.
What is your... Were you going on holiday? You get in the car over the weekends? Or actually just wake up on a Saturday morning and go, I've got nothing to do today.
I don't have to set my alarm.
Yeah.
I get to sleep in.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
No plans as of yet. Hoping to go to Raro in August if the travel bubble opens up for my brother's wedding. If it doesn't, then might just, I don't know, do a trip down south or something. I don't know.
So he's getting married no matter what, though?
Only if the bubble
Only
opens
if...
up.
Right. Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Be a first lot of big travel in a long time, so it's exciting thinking about it, but fingers crossed they managed to open it up.
Absolutely, for an event like that. I'm sure there's countless people have wanted to do that and have had to put it off. These are very odd times, and
Yeah.
hey, it's impacted you. The world champs,
Yeah.
had they been
It was meant to
Meant to be in?
It was meant to be here in Nainai, so I'm not sure specific dates, but it got cancelled last year and it got cancelled this year too. So yeah.
Does that mean New Zealand will have first right to host the next one? I would think so. I think that would.
Yeah, I'd say that they'd keep it at Nainai. I think they were meant to have 2 years in a row here, so
Where else around the world would they play world champs? Because after winning nationals, you're like, yeah, I get to go.
I get to go to Nainai.
I get to go up the road. where I play all the
10
time.
minutes drive
Yeah, I
from
know.
home.
Not nothing against it. It's a great facility here,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but, you know, after all those years, I want to be a national champion. I've become a national champion. I'm going to the World Champs.
Get free travel, free accommodation to Nino.
Do you want accommodation? No, I'll just stay in my own bed because that will probably give me an advantage.
Yeah.
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 Oh, bless.
But no, you look at the positives when things like that happen. Like, at least, you know, you know the environment, you know what's around you. You have more of an opportunity to get to know the greens. So, yeah, got to look for the positives.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Everyone I talked to was like, "Oh, dumb, it's in Nino, you don't get to travel," and I was like, "It's okay, it's all right."
Yeah, no, as far as an experience going, you know, abroad, okay, but it's actually quite an advantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
So
the amount of times, especially being in the stadium, the amount of time you can spend in there trying to perfect each rink and learning what they do.
Yeah. Home field, home court advantage. It's a truism in sport.
Yeah.
You know.
And to be honest, at the moment, you wouldn't really want to be travelling anywhere else, though. Like, it's safest here in New Zealand, so, yeah.
So, Gold 2 meet, national champ alongside me, representing Stokes Valley this afternoon in the fours.
Yep.
Who you got? Semis first up, is it?
Yeah, we play Johnsonville in the semis. Interestingly enough, if we win the semi and Victoria win their semi, I actually play my mum in the final, so that'll be interesting if it's a Stokes Valley Victoria final. But obviously, we both have to do our bits to get there.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far over, but that would be neat. Has that happened? Have you played?
No, I haven't played against my mum in the final before because this is my first full season at Stokes Valley, so yeah, that will be
cool.
Interesting.
So you've probably played against each other, but not in a really competitive
nothing
sense like that.
this. Yeah.
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 We'll get back to this game in just a moment because we've just seen a big end for the context of this final and for Victoria, who, as we mentioned, starting to run out of runway now, and big deficit, down by 10, but they picked up 4 in that last end, which will probably...
It's huge.
That is huge for them. But who's more likely to give lip? Is it daughter to mum? Mum to daughter? Hello, mother. Hello, mother.
A bit of both.
I'm your world champion daughter.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky
How many world titles have you won, mum?
I'm lucky that I'll be. I'm skipping, so I'm actually down a different end to mum, so I don't have to. Don't have to deal with that, but you never know. At crossover, there might be a bit of chatter.
Because you can also claim being world champ now, because no one can prove
New
that.
Zealand champ,
Yeah, you can. You know, I would have been prohibitive favourite. New Zealand champ playing in my backyard.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. So, just what Victoria needed. Picking up 4. So within 6. This is end number 14.
5 to go.
5 to go, so it's more
Definitely
than one
possible.
an end. As now. They needed one big one, and they've just got it there, and quite a strange looking configuration here. All in alignment, like Nicole's 2-year-olds at school. Kind of in line, but not.
Yeah.
But still plenty of room for someone like Helen
That's definitely the shot.
King. Helen King, 30 centre titles to her name.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's a lot of winning. That's a whole heap. She gets number 31 here. She'll join Lee Griffin with 31. Only Judy Howard has more with 37.
Wow.
7 gold stars. I think that's how it works. Excuse my ignorance. Right, the skippers again.
Still very open for either skips, really.
It is, isn't it? Those 3 in front, plenty out the back, but lots of real estate. Doesn't seem to be any impediment on either side, so well, just go to your preferred side. Yeah, when the skip says sorry, when it's halfway down,
Yeah, they know.
yeah, they know.
Seems the wind's picking up a bit
Yeah.
though, so it's clearly making it a bit trickier.
It's just clouded over too. It's out of shot. Bright sunshine throughout. Champions weekend, but a bit overcast. No sign of rain or threat of rain, it would seem, but that wind certainly has picked up, which even Wellington bowlers don't really enjoy.
You know, you kind of get used to it.
So let's see if Sarah Takamo can atone for the last bowl, which she apologised for. There's no apology coming
It's
forward
looking
now.
better.
Tracking neatly. Will it
It's there.
slide under?
It's another counter.
Oh, the door is ajar for Karen. Trying to finesse this one in. Burgle the shot. Kick two away.
Third.
Crike, is it?
Is it another 4?
That's
Another
Four.
4, 2 4s in a row.
well, it's a whole different game.
It's huge.
Just like that. It's a 2-point game. I think there's genuine laughter there from one team and a little bit of awkward laughter from the
Yeah,
other team.
yeah.
It's like, hold on. 10 minutes ago, we're leading by 18-8. Now it's 18-16. And this theme of action-packed matches going down to the wire here on Ring 7 in all of our televised games continues.
Definitely makes it a bit more interesting for the viewers.
The women's singles yesterday, we would have kept an eagle eye on that. It's pretty...
A little bit.
Yeah.
20 all playing the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spectators would have loved that. Depending on their individual's constitution, the bowlers might have
Yeah.
enjoyed that as well. It's on the shorter side this end. How far and off the line is that? Down off the line. Go on, expert.
Oh. A few metres.
Like that. You've answered the question, but nondescript, you can't be wrong. So, deep the first bowl was until from Victoria. Getting inside that is Nicole Lowe, the lead of Johnsonville. So back-to-back fours for Victoria. Much better weight from the Victoria lead. So the move from Victoria Stokes Valley, is that just for ease or where you're living?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I was living in town and I had moved out to the hut for work, so it was close to work, close to home. Also being in the Vipers, it made a bit more sense that I was playing more for Stokes Valley and yes, giving back to the club for giving me the opportunity to play for the Vipers. So yeah, it's worked out well. Still spend a bit of time at both clubs.
I was about to say, you've got,
yeah.
by the sounds, you've got really fond memories of.
Yeah, like I still play inter-club for Victoria
Yeah.
and I haven't really played centre events this season, but yeah, it's still played nationals under Victoria too, so still a lot of history and a lot of
Yeah, good bit of real estate there too.
When you spend every weekend there as a child, you kind of have to hold on to it.
Yeah. So Helen King. So she's having a lot of fun out there. It's been all smiles throughout, even when they were down by that large margin. Appreciative of that effort.
Good shot.
Now, Cynthia Evans. I'm a bit concerned about the line, the body language tells me, and also the heat is it. Well, just stay in shot. Camera shot, that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you never know. It could be handy. If Jack goes back, it's a very good bowl.
I do like the positivity.
Always think of the positives.
Yeah, always think of the positives.
It's got more use behind than short.
Right. So, I'm not going to attempt to say who's got shot here. So hard. Putting off the screen. And it's at the far end of the rink when I actually look out to the... So, I was hoping Karen was going to make it a little bit easier for us. But
If anything, it makes it a bit harder.
We go around 360 degrees around that. It's like
Guessing it's 2 to Victoria,
Yeah. which would be natural. Heading into the final, that would have another game locked up. And maybe make it another big in. Urging it on as Robin Rintle. Will it just slide on past the front? Well, yes, but whether or not it's going to be shot, I find those balls in front of the Jacks seem to be a lot further away than you anticipate.
Yeah. Just 2.
And Karen would like to have that one back. Sort of castigates herself. It's like the Jack's got a magnet in reverse on it.
Yeah.
A force field. Can't come near me. And the girls are interested. I want to know.
It's a 2.
Two will have it locked up. Did it go in favour of Victoria? I had
Yep.
my head down there.
Yep,
Missed the
so all square.
all square. How's that?
After
Well,
15.
Looked like it was going to be one of those dreaded games where it's an absolute canter to one of those sides. Nicole, but we're all locked up. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you've got plenty on, so we'll let you go. It is 11 o'clock, so we wish you all the success for your semi-final. And, you know, very selfishly, I hope it is Mama versus daughter.
Thank you.
A little bit later. Thanks so much. The national champ. You're never going to get sick of hearing that, are you?
No,
no, you've won. Hi, I'm national champ. Thanks so much, Nicole, joining us. Nicole Toomey, that is, joining us here in commentary. We appreciate her time, and we appreciate all the support of the sponsors on your screen there. Thanks for your support and ongoing support. We certainly do hope in helping Bowls Wellington region put on this weekend and do what they do. Great to have Nicole Toomey joining us here in the commentary position. Joining me now is another bowler, but I know would never claim to probably be of Nicole's pedigree, but certainly probably loves the sport just as much. And Sharman Buckle joins us here. Great to see you.
Thank you, Daniel.
5 year story with playing the game.
Yep.
Have I got my maths right there?
Yeah. And
True love affair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How did you get in?
Well, when I retired, I just happened to start playing casually on Tuesday morning with some women.
Yeah.
And
at which club?
Victoria.
Yep.
And then, I just fell in love with it and started playing inter-club and started playing more seriously. And at an administrative level, I soon became scooped up to fulfil quite a few roles.
Yeah,
so.
and that's what we're going to get into. And I think that especially some of the key things that you do fit neatly into, there we go. We'll fix your headset. As we just rotate my co-commentators here. How's that for an opening? From Victoria's Robin Rinsell. You can smile with that one, Sharman.
Yes.
The Victoria, you'd be delighted how they're 40. They just haven't given up. It
No.
looked like it was all over this contest, but we are locked up. 16 of 18 ends.
It certainly did. And in fact, I thought I probably wouldn't make the spot because I thought they might have been conceding. But no, it's amazing. 18 all.
Well, when you've got 43 centre titles between the three ladies out there, you're like, you can't discount experience, right?
No, absolutely. Yep, no, they've been playing, beautifully.
Nice, again, from the Leeds, who have lived up to their name, the Leeds. But so, not only there to play, but you've gone on, I think you're Bowls Wellington board member too. So, the administration side of the game, not only with your club, but more broadly, you've quickly got into. And you have a really key role, Rangatahi, the youth, the development. In broad strokes, tell us, what you're focused on, and maybe some of the plans to what you hope to achieve.
Yeah, well, most of the board members do have a role, and my portfolio, if you like, has fallen to college bowls, which I'm really passionate about. I do believe that the growth in the sport is where that resides. So I've been involved in facilitating and hosting at Victoria and Miramar, one of the hubs for the school competition, and we play off through the season, and we've now developed a Duke of Edinburgh unit, which is part of the bronze medallion. And one of my colleagues, who is a coach, she's running that, and it's in its inaugural phase in term 1, run out in the hut with 2 schools at the moment, and that they will play off in the competition in term 4. So that's one thing. There's the college hubs, and then we play against Taranaki, and then we play in a national schools tournament. So there's lots of opportunities for the kids to be involved, but it is a challenge to get bowls into the school curriculum because they have so many choices these days.
Well, that's the thing.
It's huge.
I used to work at a school a lifetime ago, and even back then you could see how quickly the variety was expanding, which is fantastic for the kids.
Yes, it is.
But often people look at their own sports, have a bit of a narrow perspective and go, why are our numbers down? Well, often kids are playing more sports.
That's right.
And it's, you've got to sharpen your own sort of systems to attract them in.
That's right.
Simple as that.
So, we are looking over the winter to be even more proactive in actually engaging with the schools and trying to get the school sports administrators and coaches to get more familiar with the game and understand that, young people play it too. And it is such an accommodating sport in that gender is not a factor. Whether you're big or small, you can still play. Whether you're male, female, transgender, it's all very all-embracing, and it's very rewarding. For those
Chess on
kids.
grass. Isn't it,
Yes,
at times.
it is,
Yeah.
totally. Yep.
So, getting late in this, the 16th of 18 ends. Joe Buckle from Victoria and Bowls Wellington board member with us. I do.
I'm now in Miramar, so... Yep.
Oh, you've gone to Miramar?
Yeah.
The Miramar Fair.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
nice.
yep, just so plug for them.
Nothing wrong with that. I spent my whole life out in Miramar, Strathmore way. Well, my Wellington life, that is. Here is the skip of Johnsonville, Karen Guilford. It's called the action of this 16th end. A seesawing battle. It's playing with plenty of pace, but Karen's radar's just gone slightly askew in the last couple of ends and unable to disturb what she was targeting. So there's Helen King with all the experience, imparting some knowledge to Sarah Takamo, who has a fair bit of Southfed. Fair to say. 18 apiece, as you see on the scoreboard behind the Victoria skip.
It's not all over yet.
No, not at all. A few just slightly obscured, but yeah, the front on shot, see it slides underneath now, so looking to get the edge of that lead bowl next to the kitty and track the getting back towards Johnson. I'm sure what Cynthia Evans was telling her skip. And that's under.
It's going to turn across.
Well across, so it's 2.
Wow.
So incredible turnaround from 18-8 down after 12. After 16, it reads 20-18 to Victoria, who have rattled off 12. My maths, 12 straight points in 4 ends.
It's amazing.
That is quite the turnaround. Quite impressive. Now back to, especially work partnering with schools and getting numbers. The priority, participation numbers, is that the most important thing? Not everyone's going to go on and be Nicole Toomey, who played college bowls and now is a national champion. Or is it
absolutely? I mean, I think
is there just still a sort of a high performance? And I know that's sort of a broad term.
There is an
bit
element.
of both.
There's a bit of both.
Yeah.
There's an element of that for sure, but I think probably more important is actually getting the kids to get a taste of the game, and even if they don't pursue it, I mean, a lot of them will go off to universities out of town or whatever, they'll go in different directions, but I think the fact that they may well come back to it later on is really key, and that's where we're looking to grow our numbers in the game. If we can just bring in some 30, 40, 50-year-olds, and maybe some of those will have had a taste of it at school, and then they'll go and play fun bowls on a Monday night, corporate bowls, and then maybe come back into the clubs that way. So it's a bit of a long-term game, for sure. But yeah, we certainly try and identify some. Yeah,
you like
young
to
kids.
to fall in love with the sport and hopefully join clubs beyond.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and really
to serve the sport too, not just
And I've been just gobsmacked at how much pleasure the kids seem to get from playing on a Thursday after school at 4 o'clock, and we've been really lucky with the weather over the last few years, and they just love it. It's so rewarding and so satisfying. So
what varieties, what of the game do you offer as far as structure of game? What I mean by that was Paul Hassel was telling us stories of playing Taranaki over 25 ends.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah, there's a variety of games, but specifically tailored for that. For that age group, fast, snappy, or
well, definitely that we're moving towards that. I noticed in Auckland that a lot of the college games up there are the 3-5 format, which is the quick, sharp format of the game. We haven't pushed that so much here in Wellington, although in talking to Dale Jackson, who runs the Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award, she felt at that point it was too soon to introduce them to that quick format, but definitely it's like with most sports now, we're looking to have some games that don't take up too much time and that can involve kids and keep their concentration. So, yep, the 3-5 format's really taken off, and I think we'll probably be promoting that.
And understandably so, although, my own humble opinion is like, where does this all end? Like for 10-second games, reading a transcript, completely off topic here, transcript from Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid, trying to explain why they tried to steal the game with their Super League last week, and he said, football's too long. It's like an hour and a half is now, like...
It's like Test cricket versus, T20.
That's 5 days. I can understand that sort of line of thinking. It's like, right. Anyway, that's my own sort of pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to watch and play something for dare I say, 90 minutes. But
3-5 requires marking out the greens, and that's all extra kind of people having to be involved, and so it's sort of been a bit easier just to play triples or pairs or whatever. Yeah,
and that makes sense because a lot of those sports that are having booms are often indoor sports where you turn up, you're going to play, it's going to start at that time, and you don't need to assemble anything. Kids just get into it.
Yep, no, for sure. Yep.
Right, let's call this through because I think this game. Anything else though, Sean? You want to highlight as far as that space?
Well, no, but I think it's really key for us to get into the schools and physically have a conversation. I mean, I did ring round quite a few schools last winter, and that was really good, but I actually think Nigel and I are really going to be very proactive and try and sit down in front of the sports administrators and just point out to them just what advantages there are for a whole range of kids who are even disabled. We even had a slightly special needs kid last week, and it was fantastic to see the pleasure and enjoyment he was getting out of the game.
That's great to see. Well, if how this event's been run is any indication, I think those sports administrators will enjoy working with you. So, right, look at that. The flying V in the lead up to the jack there. So. Let's see if someone can drop in. Show up Victoria on top. Scarcely believable from what we were witnessing 40 odd minutes ago. I was ready to call it at 18-8. Granted, Kultumi has just slightly more pedigree in the sport. Said, steady on. they're still, but I'm not sure she expected Victoria to be up by 2 with 2 to play. But that's where we're at.
It's never over.
It's not over till it's over. This one again, we'll get into that heavy traffic, but nudging forward. That's all right, though, is the reassuring words of one Helen King. And the skip polishing the bowl and ready to send the wood down. Slightly firmer release. Came out a little bit wobbly, didn't it? And she sort of chuckled to herself in that frustrated ways athletes can do. She knew straight away that wasn't going to threaten, so a simple draw bowl. Called here from Helen King. Sarah's had a wonderful season.
She has, and she's just the most amazingly humble, chilled bowler who just is fantastic skip. I've played in some of her teams and just thoroughly enjoyed it. She's just amazing.
Quite a calming influence, fair to say.
Absolutely, yes.
So your head's going a million miles an hour.
But hers isn't. She doesn't say much, but she's just...
She almost smiled there.
Yeah.
So again, playing with some real pace. Guildford, I think she likes this much better. Looks could be again too narrow.
Missed.
Goes underneath. So, 2 more. 2 more. And it's not ideal for this role when you're a commentator. I'm sort of lost for words. 22-18. They need a 4 just to make it even.
And this is
in the last.
Last end, yep.
So we have seen the lead in this game change with no embellishment at all, quite extraordinary fashion. After 12 ends of 18, the score read 18-8 to Johnsonville. We've then had 4 shots on the 13th to Victoria, 4 on the 14th to Victoria, 2 on the 15th to Victoria, 2 on the 16th to Victoria, and now 2 on the 17th to Victoria.
So Johnsonville haven't won an end for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Since the 12th.
Since the 12th.
And then from that moment on, Victoria's won every end and added 14 points.
Yeah.
14 unanswered points over 5 ends.
That's a good draw bowl, Robin.
Fractionally in front of, but we'll take that. So
Both leads have led really well, haven't they?
they have right throughout. Started dropping them in from end number 1. This will not threaten the shot bowl, but it's in the right province, shall we say. Robin Rintle has got 4 centre titles. And of course with her crew, this crew that we are watching now won the Open Triples earlier this season rather. The 2020 champs, well, Johnsonville. So that's why we thought these two sides most likely to progress to the final. Knew it would be tight. I don't think we expected a 14-0 run made by Victoria, but they are playing with great confidence now. It's good effort though from Nicola Lowe. Now the turn of Helen King. Let's lean on the effort of Nicola Lowe. Remember, Johnsonville need 4 in this final end to level things out. The centre extras, of course, 5 to win.
It's a big ask, but you never know.
Good stuff there from Cynthia Evans. And the acknowledgement of her skip. Friendly little tap off her own bowl, Helen King. That will settle. The instructions pretty clear. Seeing those instructions through, different story. Just wanted an extra metre on it.
It's going to be about
Oh,
wide.
it wasn't that far off. Maybe the width of it. Well away from achieving what they set out to. So put your thinking cap on, Karen Guilford, because you're the one who's going to have to
Save it.
make something out of nothing almost. Down by 4. We're playing the last of 18. Charlene Buckle, formerly Victoria. Got that right, yes.
Yes, yes. Currently runner-up.
Yeah. But Bowles Wellington board member alongside and can't take her eyes off it. The sun breaks out again, breaking through the high cloud that temporarily and rarely over this Champions of Champions weekend took the sun away from us. McCann, Sarah, Como complete the job for her side and, well, finish a sparkling summer's work for herself. It's right on the money again. Just nudging. I think. Hard to decipher, but I think that was Nicola Lowe's bowl, which she promoted. Her own bowl into the centre line and her own sort of smeared out to the right, but not by much. Look at that collection. Yeah, look from the mat, it's
Pretty tight.
pretty tight indeed. So,
What's Karen going to do?
well, that's what I was hoping you were going to answer, because I've got no idea what's going through her mind, but having her on the commentary tee yesterday, you could tell she could see a lot.
Yeah.
These shots she hasn't really had great result with. It's probably a fraction too wide. She collects her own. It takes the pace of hers,
Start,
but it's still just track forward too far. It's already been the shot bowl, and she has dislodged Cynthia Evans's
bowl.
lime fizz bowl out the back.
Conferring.
Two Victoria players who combined 39 centre titles between them. It's not as if Robin Rindle doesn't know about winning these things. I think she's got 4 herself. So what do you think the plan is? Up by 4. It's about protecting things, the best way to do that.
Yep.
I don't mind if they give up 1, 2, or 3. It's about making, I guess what you could describe for Karen Guilford is the improbable, and hopefully making it impossible.
She's got the last bowl, so yep.
There's Takamo, the skip, with her last effort in this final of the women's triples. It's away.
She's gone.
Very long to put one out the back.
I think so.
Just to give a bit of cover to the back, for which those 2 lime green do belong to the Johnsonville
Yep.
squad. So what's Karen Guilford got? 3 all sort of acting as bouncers in front of the jack.
Pretty protected, so it's going to be. What's she going to do?
Oh, she's contemplating it long and hard, taking a bit more time than normal. With a bit more pace
Weight.
too, but she's not happy. Wave of the left hand and the towel. Might be waving of the towel. And she's nudged one out. Trailed the jack herself, but it will be shake hands time. And Victoria with the victory, one they won't forget anytime soon, as they have blitzed Johnsonville over the final third of this women's triples final to overturn a 10-point deficit after 12
Wow.
and turn it into what you might argue is a comfortable win on the scoreboard. Incredible stuff. Hugs all round. Wait for the official score to come up. Sharman, that's
Yep.
that's I know they've won a lot of titles between them, but that's going to be a special one, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and especially coming from behind like that, they have done so well. It's fantastic.
And cherry on top, they've added one more to the total after that last skillful bowl.
Yep.
So final score. Shaman, thanks so much. All the best. Enjoy the remainder of championships and good luck for what you've set out to do with the rangatahi, the youth in this region. I hope it does go well. We do appreciate Shaman Buckle, the board member of Bowls Wellington, prior to that national singles champ. Nicole Toomey and Paul Hassel, who made the men's semi-finals and is playing in the fours final a little bit later. But out of the middle we have, let's not forget, two sides who've given us great entertainment. Victoria 25, Johnsonville 18 is how the scoreboard reads. And that score doesn't really tell the tale of this game, because over the last half a dozen ends, the Victoria side has rattled off 17 unanswered points to win this final. Congratulations to Skip Sarah Takamo, her 10th centre title, and completing a wonderful summer's work for her. She's been in great form. Robin Rintle, the leads, picks up another centre title, but Helen King, let's acknowledge her fine efforts. 31 centre titles now. 31 for Helen King. That sees her draw level alongside Lee Griffin on 31, second equal all time. Only the great Judy Howard has more with 37. Congratulations to Victoria. Commiserations to Johnsonville. Victoria taking out the triples in the women's singles by 25 to 18. Big thanks to our supporters, our sponsors, for helping out get us off the ground this weekend, and their ongoing support to Bowls at Wellington. We will return very shortly, in about 20 minutes' time, maybe add a couple of extra minutes. My math's not the greatest, but we've got game 2 of 3 here today. We will have the action from the men's pairs final from roughly 11:45, and later the women's fours coming to you approximately at 2:30. We'll take a quick break and we'll return for the game number 2 on our Anzac Day coverage. But game number 1, certainly one to remember, with Victoria beating Johnsonville in the women's triples by 25 to 18.